Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let's Celebrate Giving, 20 years of Charity Navigator. I'm your host, Matt Giegrick, and for the next hour, Charity Navigator will connect you with causes and guide your giving, just like they've been doing for the past 2 decades. You'll be introduced to several donors making a difference within their communities, locally and globally, and you'll also get to know the work of 3 highly impactful charities focused on education, hunger, and international relief. Oh, and we have a live performance from a singer-songwriter, Peter Karp. What you're about to see and hear is sure to inspire and entertain you. We're broadcasting live from the Inception Company studios in Fairfield, New Jersey, just a little more than a stone's throw from New York City. And we are delighted to have folks joining us from the comfort of their homes and here in the studio. What this means is this event is interactive. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions, take polls, and more. So watch for prompts in the sidebar and be sure not to switch tabs on your computer. We wouldn't want you to miss out on any of the surprises we have in store. So let's hear from some of the folks at home. Let's give us a wave if you're out there in the interweb viewing this remotely. Great to see all of you. Let's give a shout out to Alyssa Friedman in Antioch, California. Hi, Alyssa, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for, yeah, it's great to be here. I'm really excited to watch the program and really appreciate the attention that Charity Navigator is giving to helping organizations show their impact, and excited about White Pony Express too.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'll give a shout out.
What's the weather like in California?
Rainy. Oh, we're so happy there's rain.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, always grateful.
That's great. Let's also say hello to Henry Byrne in Chicago. How's the weather in Chicago, Henry?
It's pretty cold here. It's definitely wintertime. It's tough. We had a nice spell of good weather, and now we got hit hard. So hunkering down for the winter for sure.
Great, great. Well, enjoy this evening. You won't get cold, hopefully, during the whole program. Great to see all of you. We'll be back to you with lots of different ways for you to interact with the show. So thanks to all of you for being here so much. For those of you new to Charity Navigator, it all started 20 years ago with the novel idea that there should be a resource where donors could find the most efficient, effective charities that align with their passions. Today, more than 11 million donors leverage the nearly 200,000 ratings and resources to guide their giving. So it looks like it's time for a little more audience engagement and our first polling question of the evening. And the first question is, what's your primary use of Charity Navigator? Is it the ratings themselves? Is it the giving basket? Donor tips? Curated lists, top 10 results? Your answers are coming in real time as we're here. You can see them. It looks like the ratings themselves is racing ahead in the horse race here. Oh, somebody just said giving basket. We'd like to see that growing. Tonight, please. Donor tips, curated lists. Great. Well, the ratings themselves clearly are the foundation of the platform, so it's no surprise that that ranked as #1 in that poll. Charity Navigator holds a special place in my heart. I've been involved literally since almost day one, and proudly served as chair of the board for many years. And I've been amazed at the progress Charity Navigator has made this year, specifically, including redesigning their website, expanding their ratings to show you where your dollars go, and more importantly, what your dollars do. What better way to celebrate 20 years of informed, impactful giving than bringing together donors and charities for a night of inspirational, insightful conversation and entertainment. All right, we're going to do another polling question here. What causes will you be supporting? What causes are most near and dear to your hearts? Is it hunger, international relief, education, animals, something else? Wow, really evenly split as the answers are coming through here. Bouncing around, education pulling out in the front, international relief, certainly timely. Great. So the answer is all of the above, and that's a good thing because there's a lot of causes that need our attention. Throughout the night, you'll have the opportunity to donate to the charities that are closest to your heart. And for every dollar that you donate through Charity Navigator's giving basket, Jazzwares will donate 1 toy to a child in need through Baby to Baby, up to 50,000 toys. Now, you heard that right. That means if you donate $100, 100 toys will be donated to children in time for the holidays. $1,000, 1,000 toys. So please think about that as the evening progresses. Be as generous as you possibly can with the causes you care about. Now, throughout the evening, we will be displaying QR codes for different charity organizations. It's a great opportunity to scan the code and to make a donation. And for our first opportunity to make a donation, get your phones ready. For those of you that are home, use your phone to scan the QR code you see on the screen. Simply click the donate button on your favorite organization's Charity Navigator profile page to get started. And now, let's celebrate giving.
Millions of people depend on Charity Navigator to guide their giving. But before there were millions, there were just 2, Charity Navigator's founders, Pat and Marion Dugan.
I think we took an approach that nobody else has ever taken. It was just good common sense to put as much information together and to arrive at a rating.
Well, now they have somewhere to go to look things up, and I know my friends say that to me, so that's very comforting for everybody.
Pat and Marion's vision resonated with everyday donors, the media, the charities themselves, and even celebrities and prominent social figures.
You have to be sure that whatever you're doing, you have the proper oversight. There's a group called Charity Navigator. They do a lot of work with, they sort of rate the nonprofits. And they have made a good name for themselves, and people do trust them.
Thank you for being informed and impactful, and joining us for Let's Celebrate Giving, 20 years of Charity Navigator.
Over the past 7 years, Charity Navigator's president and CEO, Michael Thatcher, has brought the organization to new heights. And it's my great pleasure to introduce Michael as he starts our first conversation of the night with the 4-star rated charity Donors Choose. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you all for being here. As Matt mentioned, we rate nearly 200,000 organizations. 10,000 of those are focused on education. Whether it's early childhood, college, adult education later in life, teachers play a critical role in shaping who we are and what we do. Teachers are often so dedicated to their students that they spend out of their own pockets an average of about $500 on classroom needs each year. I'm here with Alex Guerriere, the CEO of Donors Choose, a 4-star organization that connects donors with teachers to fund classroom projects in the United States public schools. These projects range from pens, paper, butterfly cocoons, and even robotic kits. Alex, thank you for being here with us.
Well, Michael, thank you for letting me be here. I mean, Charity Navigator is such an institution in the giving world and a vital service, so it's truly an honor.
Alex, your team's vetted over 2 million projects to this date. We've just come through the pandemic, and that's compounded issues significantly. Talk a little bit about the complexities in the classroom right now. What are the emerging needs that teachers are facing?
Yeah, I mean, what a couple of years, right, for all of us, for leaders of organizations, and especially for America's teachers. There are a number of trends that we are seeing at Donors Choose coming out of the pandemic years. Some of them are promising, some more sobering. You know, on the sobering side, we saw an immense amount of learning loss over these years, and teachers are struggling to figure out how to meet that need. But on the positive side, we're seeing a lot of innovation. I mean, the uptake of technology in the classroom, we're like at a new level there. And you know, something that I'm really excited about is that there's a new awareness and willingness everywhere, but in the classroom as well, to think about mental health and well-being. And so we're seeing a lot of projects focused on those topics, and I'm excited about that.
That's really fascinating. I'm wondering, folks on the wall, isn't it wild hearing how much teachers manage and how donors that can support them? Does any of you have a question for Alex? Wherever. Looking for a hand. There we go. On air. Ophira, could you ask your question?
Yeah, Alex, I have a history having worked in public education, so I have just an immense appreciation for the mission of Donors Choose, and I've seen its effects in a multitude of ways. But I understand that you too have some experience as an educator, and I'm wondering how that has influenced your work with Donors Choose.
Well, thanks for the question. Thanks for also being an educator. Yeah, I was a classroom teacher, taught 6th grade math and science, somewhat unsuccessfully, and then high school math a little bit more successfully. And what I can say is that even though that was a while ago, I can still viscerally remember how much time I spent making sure my calculators had batteries, making sure that my transparencies, this was before digital projectors, that I had transparencies in my classroom, even how much I had to spend out of pocket to make copies at Kinko's when the one copier in our school was broken. And so what I hope to bring, I mean, honestly, that memory gives me energy every day. And I hope that it gives me empathy with the struggles that teachers have today.
Thank you, Alex. You know, Donors Choose has always been a 4-star rated charity with Charity Navigator. And actually, quite recently, your organization has earned an Impact and Results Beacon from us. How does it feel, and what does that recognition mean to you, and how do you work with that?
I mean, so first of all, we're so proud of it. So I'll say that, and it means, in some sense, everything, right? Trust is really the key. We have the benefit at Donors Choose of having a cause that essentially everybody can understand, right? It's almost universal. We've all been students. Many of us have been or know teachers. And yet, even with this universal cause, if a donor's going to give, out of their wallet, $25, $50 or more dollars, it's got to be going to some place where they know it's going to have impact. And we work a lot on earning trust, but in terms of a single sort of signifier, I can't think of a better communicator than the rating on Charity Navigator.
Thank you. And your team, when I think of all that you've accomplished over 22 years, I'm wondering, as you look to the future, what do you see as the future of education in America?
It's so simple. It's almost, silly, but it's what we work on at Donors Choose. Those of you who have been in the classroom, and there are some here, you know that, and actually parents as well, you know that kids are built to learn. They almost can't help but learn. And especially if you place them in an environment that has the resources and has what they need. And yet we're just not providing that environment for all of our kids. We're just not doing it. And so the vision, the hope, what we're working towards is really as simple as that, making sure that every kid in America has access to an environment where they get the education to achieve their dreams. Just that.
That's a lot. And Alex, thank you for the incredible work that Donors Choose is doing, and thank you for joining us.
And thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
So as a reminder, every dollar you donate will result in one toy donated to a child in need this holiday season. Please roll the video.
Hi everyone, I'm Nora Weinstein.
And I'm Kelly Sawyer-Patrikoff.
And we're the co-CEOs of Baby to Baby.
Baby to Baby is a national nonprofit that provides basic essentials, including diapers, clothing, and formula to children living in poverty.
In the last 11 years, we've provided over 270 million critical items to families in need.
And this year alone, we are reaching over 1 million children in all 50 states.
We want to say a huge thank you to everyone for your generosity tonight and congratulate Charity Navigator on your 20th anniversary.
Because of your support, Charity Navigator and Jazzwares are donating tens of thousands of toys to Baby and the children we serve.
Thank you for helping us make holiday wishes come true for so many deserving children across the country this holiday season.
Well, I've already made my donation tonight to a local animal shelter through the Charity Navigator Giving Basket, and I hope you can make a donation to your favorite charity as well. Giving is really the kindest thing an individual can do. It's particularly heartwarming when it's embraced at an early age. I'm sitting here with Chelsea and Liana, two young philanthropists making a world of difference in their local communities. We were supposed to have another young philanthropist. He might be joining us. His name is Jaden, but this is live, so the show must go on. Chelsea, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking. What about you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm just ecstatic to be here and celebrating giving with everybody. Liana, I'd love to hear from you. How are you doing tonight, and where are you calling in from?
I'm doing great. I'm calling in. I'm in Jersey, so I'm in Union.
That's awesome. Well, we're also in New Jersey. We're in Fair Lawn, but happy to be broadcasting anywhere in the world at this point. So at this point, you all are quite young. I mean, I think that you're 13 years old, is that right?
Yes.
13 years old. First off, wow, I'm impressed. Chelsea, I'm curious as to what motivated you to start helping others, and what has been the most rewarding experience so far while giving back?
Well, dealing with loss, I lost my grandpa when I was about 4 years old, and we were pretty close, so that was definitely sad. But my grandma told me to draw him a picture. And so I ended up taking out my Hello Kitty notebook and my markers, and I drew him a picture, and at his funeral, we put it in his pocket, so every day when he wakes up, wherever he is right now, he would think of us. And that provides closure for children. I think that that art is part of the healing process. That was definitely a motivator. My favorite experience is the first art kit distribution we did. We gave an art kit to a girl, and she said, I don't need this much. There's some of my younger siblings would love this. And she actually took some of her sketch pads and markers out and gave it to her friends and her siblings. And I thought that was really beautiful, because now one act is turning into different acts, and maybe the siblings are now teaching their friends how to create art kits. So I think that was probably my favorite experience.
That's incredible. You're right, it absolutely has a domino effect, and giving really truly brings us all together. Now, with that said, I want to go to another poll question, and I'm curious for everybody that's joining tonight, at what age did you start giving back? Did you start giving back in your childhood? Did you start giving back in your teenage years? Maybe early adulthood? Maybe you started later in life and it's your late adulthood. I see answers coming in, a lot of children, but a lot of early adults as well. To what Matt said, the horse race is in, and it looks like childhood and early adulthood are neck and neck at this point. So really glad to see that there's a lot of folks that really did start young, like Liana and Chelsea here. And so, Chelsea, I've heard you're quite the artist, and you've taken your passion for art and brought that to less fortunate kids and veterans. Tell me about the charity you started, Chelsea's Charity, and the kits you provide.
So when I turned 10, instead of asking for presents, I asked for art supplies. And we made our first 40 art kits for people in need, because art is usually the first thing to get cut in budget cuts. But it really is important because it provides a positive outlet for children, teens, adults even, to express themselves in positive ways. And again, since it's usually first thing cut, it should be distributed outside of school. And so those 40 art kits turned into 30,000 over the last 3 years.
Wow.
And we don't plan on stopping.
Good for you. I hear that you've been installing art libraries as well. That is so cool.
Thank you. We call them art cabinets, and you know how there's library boxes where you put a book in or take one out? We had an idea. I was talking with my mom, who is in the audience as we speak. I love you, Mommy. So she came up with the idea at first, and I was like, what if we do that with art supplies? And so we have 2 up and running right now in Connecticut. One is at a church in my area, and one is at the Honor Grace School in, I believe it's Bloomsfield, Connecticut. And we're putting art kits and art supplies, toys and stuff in those art kits because it creates like a sustainable way for children to just take whatever they need to get out, and it provides an opportunity for the community to put things in. And yeah, it's like really sustainable, so even when I'm not there, it can still keep going.
It's beautifully said. Thank you for doing that. That's incredible. Now, Liana, I understand you're a big animal lover. I've seen a couple photos of you hugging dogs, and I'm wondering, what are some of the ways you've been helping your furry friends?
I've been collecting supplies for dogs since I want to say like towards the end of elementary school. So I've collected, it all started with collecting blankets, and I made my own little blankets and donated them to the local shelter. And now we buy like blankets, treats, food, collars, leashes, and we donate them about once or twice a year. This year for Giving Tuesday, I actually made little tote bags and filled them with dog supplies, and I passed them out to senior citizens in my community.
Love it. Thank you for what you're doing for the animals. So there's actually a common link between the two of you. You're both Giving Tuesday Spark leaders. I'm wondering, how did you get involved with Giving Tuesday, which was just 2 days ago, and how does it feel to meet other young folks who are giving back to their local communities? Chelsea, we'll start with you.
It feels amazing because one of the leaders for Giving Tuesday reached out to me and invited me into the Spark Leaders group, and I was just so happy to find like there's other kids like me, and we had these things called chill nights, and all of us would get together on a Zoom call, and we could have snacks, we could just be kids. Yes, we're of course doing these great things, but we're also still kids at the end of the day. We can be immature with each other. Yep. We can make jokes, and it's fun to discuss ideas. I've collaborated with a lot of different Giving Tuesday Spark leaders, and we just help each other out, and there's a lot of compassion towards each other and friendship. I've made so many friends on Giving Tuesday. And so the Spark Leaders group is just amazing, and it feels great to connect with different kids. We're all from like different backgrounds, have different ideas, but it's nice to connect with that.
Awesome. And Liana, how about you? How did you get involved with Giving Tuesday, and what does it feel to have this kind of camaraderie with fellow young people who are doing some amazing things in the world?
Yeah, so I was one of the first Giving Tuesday Spark leaders. Chloe Thompson, who is the founder of the Spark program for us, is actually one of my close friends. So she talked to me about the idea as it was forming, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, as young kids who are doing stuff like this, it's so important to make connections with other kids who are doing things like this. Like, as Chelsea said, we've been able to collaborate with each other, you know, even just talk about like what's going on, talk about difficult times, talk about happy times, and it's just such a encouraging environment, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we have this rare opportunity to have two really impactful young people here, and I'm curious if anybody on the wall has any questions for either Chelsea or Liana. Raise your virtual hand if you have anything to throw out their way.
Oh.
Oh, I see Kyle from Hampton, New Jersey. Kyle, what's your question?
Yeah, so I have 3 young ones under 4 right now, and wanting to make sure that they're so cute. But wanting to make sure that they get the generosity bug and see the magic in it. So I'm curious. What do you think I should say to them? How should I get the youngsters involved?
Well, I would say to find what they're passionate about. Maybe they like gymnastics, maybe they like swimming or baking. I would just pay attention to their habits and like what they like to do, and help them brainstorm ways they can make sure other people have that something to do too. To even just encouraging their classmates, just doing something kind every day, to be able to, at the end of every day, say, here's one thing kind I did today. And if you just do that for like a year, then it kind of gets empathy and compassion instilled in them at a young age, and most of the times once they have it, they don't tend to lose it.
That's fantastic. And Liana, what about you? Any sort of words of wisdom for Kyle's kids?
I'd definitely say, as she said, like, look at what brightens their day. Like, for example, when I was like 3, I loved feeding the puppies or like the little kittens in my area. I always just loved animals. So, like, whatever they can gravitate towards, I'd say to encourage them to find a way that they can help them, whether it's spending time with their grandparents or, if they like drawing, drawing and painting, they can make cards and donate them to senior citizens who might be lonely. Being a kid, you see things so brightly. So I'd say just anything that their eyes sparkle towards, they can do something with.
I love that.
Well, I'm not the only one who's proud of everything you've accomplished. And unfortunately, it looks like Jaden is having some technical difficulties, but he's got a good reason. He's in LA filming with the Kelly Clarkson Show.
Wow.
And can't be on camera. But these 3 young philanthropists deserve such a great recognition, and we have a special message for the 3 of you. So let's roll the clip.
Hey Chelsea, I'm Adasa, the voice of Dolores from Disney's Encanto. The folks at Charity Navigator told me all about the amazing things you're doing with your community. They also told me that you're being recognized as a young philanthropist. How cool is that? To celebrate, why don't we sing a little We Don't Talk About Bruno? Are you ready, Chelsea? Let's do it. We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. Hey, good to live in fear, Bruno stuttering and stumbling. I can always hear him sort of muttering and mumbling. I associate him with the sound of falling sand. Shh, shh, shh. It's a heavy lift with the gift so humbling. Always let the abuela and the family fumbling, grappling with prophecies they couldn't understand. Do you understand? Keep up the good work, Chelsea, and have an amazing day. Bye.
Hey, Leanna, what's going on? It's Coyote Peterson here from Brave Wilderness, and I just wanted to congratulate you on being recognized as Charity Navigator's Young Philanthropist. This is so exciting. Congratulations. Now, I know that you are an environmentalist and a huge animal lover like myself, and I want to encourage you to keep making the world a better place by focusing on the environment and helping to keep animals happy and living fulfilling lives. It's young, brilliant minds just like yours that are helping to ensure that the planet and the species that thrive within it are protected for generations to come. Be brave, stay wild, and congratulations again on your recognition. Very proud of you, Leanna. Yeah!
What's up, Jaden? So my partner, Darren at Beast Philanthropy, told me you've been doing a lot of charity work recently. So I wanted to record a quick video and just say that I'm proud of you, and I hope you keep it up. And thank you for spreading positivity in the world. I appreciate it.
That is so cool. I imagine the 2 of you recognize how big of a deal that is. Disney's Encanto, Animal Planet, and to top it all off, Mr. Beast. For those of you unfamiliar, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, has more than 100 million subscribers on YouTube, making him the most subscribed YouTube personality in the world. And through his nonprofit, Beast Philanthropy, Jimmy, Darren, and the crew distribute 500,000 pounds of food to the food insecure each and every month, have gotten $5 million in aid to Ukraine, and have built wells in Africa and homes in Costa Rica, and so much more. And so just an absolutely amazing moment. Thank you for being a part of this and all the amazing work that you're doing. I think I speak on everyone's behalf when I say we look forward to following your journeys.
Thank you.
That was amazing. So inspiring. Oh boy. As a reminder, please donate to the charity of your choice tonight to have toys donated to children in need. And if you can't decide which charity to support, please consider supporting Charity Navigator. We are a nonprofit ourselves. Your contribution will help increase the depth and breadth of valuable ratings and resources and lift up all the causes you see tonight. We want to put out a huge and heartfelt thank you to the sponsors for this celebration. We so appreciate their generosity. Thank you to our gold sponsors, Moving Traffic Media, Nonprofit Pro, Second Melody, and Sony. And silver sponsors, AAA, Ethos Capital, Gorilla Group, Ogilvy, and Vocal. And the Inception Company is proud to be a platinum sponsor. So let's keep the celebration going with an interview with 4-star charity Hope for Haiti. It's an honor to introduce my friend and current Charity Navigator Board Chair, Marie Week.
Hi, everybody, and thanks again for joining us. In prep for this event, I had the privilege of really getting behind the scenes on a number of different charities. And as you know, we rate and evaluate U.S. charities, but many of those charities operate near and far and have an impact in the whole world. And in particular, we're really delighted today to be able to feature Hope for Haiti. Hope for Haiti partners with private donors and rural communities in southern Haiti to alleviate poverty, to improve systems of education, to increase the access to clean water, and to provide economic opportunity for those communities. And I'm here with Skylar, the CEO of Hope for Haiti. Skylar, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Marie. And we are just so grateful to Charity Navigator for what it represents in the philanthropic community, for donors who are looking for causes to support, for young philanthropists who are just getting started off. That was so inspiring. And then on a personal note, Charity Navigator has become, and the staff at Charity, they've become a thought partner for Hope for Haiti and helping us think through ways we can be more transparent and accountable. And we really value that. So thank you for having us, and happy 20th anniversary.
Thank you so much. Hope for Haiti's been on the ground in Haiti for 33 years. So you have seen an enormous amount of impact and issue. During that time, what's the most proud moment that you've had in terms of what you've been able to accomplish there?
It's so hard to come up with one, and I'll tell you, the thing that comes to mind first is just our team. We have an incredibly dedicated team of Haitian professionals on the ground in Haiti. They are the frontline workers for our fight against poverty. They're doctors and nurses and educators and administrators. They're lifting up communities. They're lifting up their community. And then the second thing I'm really so proud about is the way that our organization has responded to the natural disasters in the country. We were there on the ground in 2010 when the major earthquake hit Haiti. We were there after Hurricane Matthew devastated the South. We were there last year, right in our backyard when a 7.2 magnitude earthquake devastated a lot of our friends, a lot of our colleagues in the communities that we serve. And I was proud to see how we responded. We stepped up and we served by helping provide healthcare and education and access to clean water and economic opportunity for people who really lost a lot of their livelihoods. So proud of that. And then just doing it all with this standard that we set for ourselves, this standard for governance and transparency and accountability. It's so important to the work that we do, and it gives our donors trust that we're doing it the right way.
And I mean, on that point, Hope for Haiti has consistently been a 4-star charity, which we're very proud to see. But in addition, you've also directly engaged with the new Encompass system and the new beacons and have really filled out that profile. How has that interaction and the new ratings helped you reach your donors?
Yeah, it's really been a game changer for us. And I just give you an example. After 2010, we had a donor call us on the phone, Renee Parsons, part of the Bob and Renee Parsons Foundation. She called us on the phone, said she found us on Charity Navigator and wanted to donate $500,000 to support our relief efforts. And that was in a time of great need, and they didn't stop there. They've contributed nearly $10 million since then to support healthcare and education in Haitian communities. And it's not just big philanthropists. We did have the earthquake last year. We had big corporations vet us through Charity Navigator, like Skechers, the shoe company. But it's the grassroots philanthropists, the families, the individuals who are trying to find that organization that they can trust that's doing work on the ground.
Young donors.
The young donors, right? And their Charity Navigator is giving us that platform, and donors are finding us there, and that's really a game changer for us.
That's great. And I'm glad that type of interaction and community raises all boats in this kind of climate.
Sure does.
Now, you started the discussion about how important your team on the ground is to your mission
Critical.
and to the results. And we're really fortunate today to have one of your team members joining us live on the ground from Haiti. Ronald, welcome. We're so glad to see you here with us. And thanks for connecting. What are you seeing in Haiti right now? What are the challenges? We know there have been not only a lot of natural disasters, but in that void, there's been a lot of political unrest and gang violence. And I think you have been on the front lines dealing with all of that. How is that going?
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having me. It's really a great pleasure and honor to be with you tonight and be part of this great event. For now, some of the biggest challenges in Haiti today, are a major economic crisis, political chaos, bad governance, escalating violence, insecurity, fuel shortage, hunger, and of course, a difficult and delayed back to school. So these are, the challenges that we are facing on a day-to-day basis right now in Haiti. And it's really hard. But, thanks to, the help of organizations like Hope for Haiti, who stand with us on the ground, we are able, to really stay with our partner communities and help, our beneficiaries, our people, community leaders, teachers, students, parents, to navigate those challenges and be able to, live a better life, a decent life in Haiti. Thanks to the dedication and resilience of our team also, and of course, thanks to generous donations from our supporters, we are able, as I mentioned, to navigate those challenges and continue supporting our partner communities. Sometimes, we have to readjust because these are very difficult times. We have to readjust our schedule, work from home, empower our community leaders to get the work done, and continue inspiring hope in our beneficiaries. But, today, hopefully, thanks God, there are no more roadblocks because there were to be a lot of roadblocks in Haiti, particularly in southern part of the country, and unrest in everywhere. Our team, today, thanks God, is hard at work, providing health care through our local clinic in Kai and mobile clinics, supporting local businesses, helping schools, for example, right now, to prepare for the back to school, for the opening. And we are in the process of providing, substantial financial support to our school partners to help them meet their back to school needs. We are distributing books, school supplies to thousands of children from our partner schools in southern Haiti to be able to have a successful year. So these are the things that we are doing. This is who we are, Hope for Haiti, on the ground in Haiti, inspiring hope, and be there for those in needs, and really fulfill our mission, which is to, help the Haitian people get a better tomorrow, particularly children and women in Haiti. Thank you.
Ronald, obviously, the need is really great there right now, and providing education and bringing some normalcy back. Talking to all the donors that you have here tonight, given your charter on education in particular, what's the one thing that you need more of right now that this team could help you with? If you had an ask for education, what would it be for?
Well, get all the students back to their classrooms. subsidize teacher salaries for the teachers. Because, everybody, I would say in Haiti, they are in need. And, our teachers, they are so important to the work that we are doing on the ground, and they need our help. Because, the parents, they are in need. The communities, they are in need. And, most of the parents that we are serving, they can't really afford sending their students to schools. That's why the work that Hope for Haiti is doing is so important in our communities. And also, our students, they need to be in classrooms, in decent classrooms, in child-friendly spaces to learn safely and without fear. They need classrooms. They need, school supplies. They need teachers to be with them. So they need like almost everything. And, education is the key for development in any country. And we know in Haiti that besides all the challenges that we are facing, we can't, force education, because education is the only way to get the country out of what it is today. And we show that through education, we will be able to, pull Haiti out of where it is. And, education, as I mentioned, is really, the key to development. And that's what we are doing. That's what we are trying to help our partner communities with, because we know with education, our kids in Haiti, parents, everybody, teachers, they will have a better tomorrow. And of course, our own country will benefit from that big deal.
Right. Well, thank you very much for the work that you're doing there. And Skylar, back to you. What do you see as the future? Things have been difficult in Haiti. What can you do in the decades to come, and what are your hopes for support for Hope for Haiti?
Yeah, Ronald always says it so well, but I'll dovetail off of that, and that is that we will continue to be realistic in our approach, and we will focus on the things that we know we can have an impact on: the people, the individuals, the families, and the communities. And if we can accomplish our mission of improving the quality of life for Haitian people, particularly women and children, we know that we'll come one step closer to accomplishing our vision, which is joyful children, healthy families, thriving communities, and of course the resources to make that so.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Skylar. Ronald, thank you again, and please extend our thanks to the whole team on the ground in Haiti. And don't forget, any dollars you give, also donate a toy to those children. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marie.
Matt, back
to you. Inspiring. So Hope for Haiti is one of thousands of organizations supporting communities across the globe, especially in periods of natural disasters. And you can support one of these charities tonight. And remember, with your donation, up to 50,000 toys will be donated to children in need by Jazzwares. So now let's hear from outstanding philanthropist Craig Newmark. Craig founded Craigslist in 1995. After its success, he started Newmark Philanthropies to support groups that defend the values America aspires to, like fairness, opportunity, and respect. Let's play the video.
Craig, it's really my great pleasure to honor you as Charity Navigator's outstanding philanthropist. Thank you for all that you've done for so many. How has philanthropy shaped your life?
And I can track some of it to Sunday school, where Mr. and Mrs. Levin taught me to treat people like I want to be treated. But also now and then, you should be your brother's keeper. And that kind of stuck with me, internalized, until I wound up with the means to do a lot more. And I don't understand wanting to have mansions or lots of fancy cars or a yacht. What I do understand that it feels a lot better to make a difference.
I've heard you say that no one actually needs billions except to give away. What happened in life that actually led you to that philosophy?
I just think it's what I was taught like 60 years ago or more, what sunk in and what has risen again to the future as I realize that I've gotten lucky. I started off with a little bit of privilege, have acquired more, and I can only think that what I need to make use of it is to give other people a break. I mean, I do indulge myself in some luxuries. I buy all the books I want, and I subscribe to all the streaming services I want. But beyond that, there's not many luxuries I need.
You know, in the giving back that you do and in the ladders that you extend to others, is there a specific, really a moment of your but what you might call your proudest moment as a philanthropist?
I've seen a difference now and then, one way or the other. But when that happens, all I can think of is what's next. And I don't even dwell upon any successes long enough to remember them because there's always more.
What advice would you give to those who want to ensure that their giving is informed and impactful?
Well, they need to find some area that they can really identify with for whatever reason, that they're committed. They need to do research, which includes Charity Navigator. And sometimes, depending on the size of the nonprofit and what their workload is, sometimes you can reach out directly to the nonprofit. The idea is a personal commitment and then follow through. Commitment and particularly follow through are hard, but necessary.
Craig, thank you again for joining us. We are so thrilled to recognize you as our outstanding philanthropist. We're looking forward to the next 20 years. Craig, what is it that you have in store as you look forward, and where will you be focusing your philanthropy in the coming years?
On one hand, I have to do more of what I've been doing. A lot of my nonprofit activities help people who are defending the country in the here and now, veterans, military families, but also a lot of people doing work in areas like cybersecurity. But like I learned in US history, a trustworthy press is the immune system of democracy. And I seem to be building a journalist protection focus area where I do help out groups who are actively defending journalists, for example, in court. Also, well, without announcing anything prematurely, I reflect that freelance journalists, small news organizations need affordable media lawsuit insurance to protect themselves against frivolous lawsuits. So that's something I'm working on, and there will be announcements in the near future. I'd like to add along those lines, and this is answering the implicit question just posed. Anyone who's looking to help out in any serious way needs good resources, and that's why my team and I have relied on Charity Navigator, particularly the ferocious Mabel, who does a great job for me vetting nonprofits.
We're delighted that we've been able to add value to your philanthropy, Craig. And thanks again for joining our 20th anniversary celebration.
Hey, everyone needs help. In my case, Mabel, who really is scary, makes regular use of Charity Navigator. But overall, like I say, a nerd's got to do what a nerd's got to do.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
It's so inspiring hearing someone so dedicated to bettering this world. And it takes a team of people to make this all happen. Charity Navigator relies on a very special group to help them improve their ratings and tools for giving. Thank you to the Consultative Council of Nonprofit Leaders for their dedication to bettering transparency in the nonprofit space. Some of them are here with us today. Give me a thumbs up if you're with us this evening. And most importantly, I want to thank the small but very mighty Charity Navigator staff. You'd never know that this organization is run by just 35 team members. Charity Navigator team, give us a wave. You help make giving easier for all, and we appreciate that. Now you get to hear from Laura and another 4-star charity addressing food insecurity, White Pony Express.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Andes. As Charity Navigator's Chief Program Officer, I lead the team that develops methodology for our ratings. I am so fortunate to be joined by Eve Burge, Executive Director of the White Pony Express, a food rescue organization in California. Eve, it is so good to have you here celebrating giving with us.
It is even better to be here celebrating giving with you.
Addressing hunger is a cause that is near and dear to so many of our donors' hearts. Did you know that 1 in 4 Americans are skipping meals or relying on food donations? Meanwhile, Americans throw away 40% of our food supply. Food banks and food rescue organizations work diligently to bridge this gap, and we developed a methodology to highlight those organizations on their effectiveness so that they can feed those in need. White Pony Express is a handful of organizations with a perfect rating on Charity Navigator, and I'm so thrilled to talk to Eve about her work. Low-income communities were hardest hit during the pandemic. Eve, can you describe the need you saw over the last years related to hunger and how you at White Pony are continuing to address food insecurity?
Sure, I would be happy to. Clearly, when the pandemic hit, there was a huge spike in need. People weren't working, and people who had already been hit hard and were already marginalized and in need found themselves in even greater need. And that was the case in our communities. And so recognizing this, we did not shut our doors one day. On the contrary, we met every morning to figure out creative ways of securing more food so that we can provide for the additional agencies that were knocking on our door, letting us know that their clients needed food. And we succeeded. So as a food rescue organization, as you mentioned, we rescue just 1/3 of that 40% of food we produce, and we eliminate hunger. We know this. And so we today, and over the last 2.5 years, have been rescuing and delivering 2 to 3 times as much food as we were before the pandemic. And we've not seen any the need continues to increase now with inflation and other challenges.
Such amazing and important work. Thank you. Can you share a story about being volunteer-powered? I know that you're a volunteer-powered organization. Can you tell us a little bit about how your volunteers support your work?
I would be happy to. So White Pony Express was really created to be a vehicle for the community to lean in. And we are better together. And we have one human family. And we have a responsibility to our family to uplift lives and to help one another. And so as a vehicle for service, loving service, for the first 4 years, we were entirely volunteer-powered. At one point, we were among the largest solely volunteer-powered organizations in the country. Now we have a small team, but so much of the work that we do is by virtue of our volunteers. We're open 7 days a week. We don't take vacations, and neither do they. They show up 2 times a day, massive groups of people, and what they're doing is they're receiving the food that we rescue. They're sorting it so carefully to ensure that the quality of that food is the same that they would serve a loved one. And then in alignment with the food justice model, they're also selecting the food that the agencies that we're serving that day want and need. So based on their cultural preferences or any activities they have going on. So that's the work of our volunteers. And it doesn't end there. They're also doing development, they're on leadership teams, they are really the voice, these voices of the community. That is the voice of White Pony Express.
I love how the community gives you the volunteers that power the work. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
And we actually have one of your volunteers with us, Dr. Gwendolyn Hamilton. Are you here? Dr. Hamilton, so good to see you. How did you get involved with the White Pony Express, and what motivated you to volunteer?
Well, first, I want to thank Charity Navigators for featuring White Pony Express. And to answer your question, I'm a retired pediatrician, and I've worked for almost 40 years with the County Health Services Department. And I learned that through my years, I learned that at the end of the month, people run out of money, they run out of food. And this is critical for children's growth and development, their learning, their participation in the community. A colleague of mine told me about White Pony Express. And when I had a family who came to me because their child was on dialysis and required a special diet, it was the end of the month. She could not go to the soup kitchens because her child couldn't eat that food. But I called White Pony Express and they said, send her here. She was able to choose the foods that she needed. That miraculous availability of abundance when it was really, really needed brought me to be a volunteer.
What an incredible story. And I love And I just love hearing about how you as a pediatrician saw a need beyond just healthcare for your patient and really tried to find an organization to support it and found White Pony to do that. That's great. Thank you. Well, it looks like it's time for another polling question for our audience. I am so curious, for those at home, what matters most to you when choosing a charity? Is it impact, leadership, connectedness to community, good governance practices? Oh, I love seeing the responses. So many of you are saying impact, some of you are saying connected to community, good governance, leadership, but it does look like impact is winning the race here. And of course, we've highlighted 3 very impactful organizations, including White Pony here. Eve, with our recent ratings unification, your organization just earned its first 4-star rating. And I should also say, you're one of just a handful of organizations out of the 200,000 we rate that have a perfect score on Charity Navigator. What does this mean to you and the rest of the organization? And how do you think this will help you do more for the folks you serve?
How could it not? Charity Navigator is a benchmark, and many of our supporters look to Charity Navigator to help them make decisions about funding. And so I'm so delighted that our transparency is, has carried over in this way. And I think with regard to impact, what we would love to do is share this food rescue model with other communities. We can eliminate hunger. We just need to band together and be more creative. But we have a model that will help communities do that. So what we would love to do is share that model freely.
That's fantastic. And it isn't a model that's gotten you 100 out of 100 on impact. So congratulations there. Well, thank you, Eve, for joining us this evening, and thanks so much to White Pony Express and all your volunteers and all of the charities working to combat hunger and food insecurity.
Thank you. And if I could, I'll just end with a quote by our founder, Dr. Carol Whalen Connor, who says that White Pony Express is built on the understanding that in this beautiful world we share, love knows all, does all, and is the most powerful force in the universe. And what we've been able to do at White Pony Express, and what I hear from my partners who are with me here today, is that we apply that practically in what we do by being transparent, by being reliable, by appreciating our communities, and by having respect. So thank you again so much for having us.
Thank you, Eve.
Wow, so many great stories here. Thank you, Laura and Eve, for the great work that you do. It is so important. Earlier tonight, we played a clip that included our founders, Pat and Marion Dugan. We actually have 3 generations of Dugans with us tonight. So I'm going to invite Pete Dugan up here to join me on the stage. All right, so Peter.
Yes, Matthew.
What do you remember thinking when your parents told you that they were going to start Charity Navigator?
Well, with me tonight, my wife Kathleen, my son Jack, my daughter Tracy, and Tracy's boyfriend William Deeren. We've really benefited from our association with Charity Navigator. But I remember way back, Kathleen and I were driving to Boston with my parents. And I can't remember why we were driving to Boston. We were on the Merritt, we were on 84, and they brought up this concept. And it was kind of fun. You know, we started, poking holes in it. We started throwing some names around. Yeah. We thought it was a great concept. However, if my memory serves me, my dad was also thinking about another concept at the same time. He was thinking about a track, a car track. Either one that you can drive off-road, you're going over rocks, you're going through mud, you're going through hills, or a track that you can drive really fast on. Right around the same time, if my memory serves me correctly. So it was kind of going around, so ultimately ended up with Charity Navigator, or we wouldn't be here tonight. But it was close. It was a toss-up.
Oh, God. All right, so then segueing off that, thinking about your children and generations to come, how does it feel now knowing that Charity Navigator is here to influence the world of giving in such an important way?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a real benefit for the family to learn from my parents and their philanthropy and their generosity. Tracy and William went to High Point together, and they were in a freshman seminar, a life skills seminar. And Charity Navigator came up as an organization that does good work. And Tracy was like, ooh, my grandparents started that, but I don't think she said anything. I don't think she said it out loud. And Jack spent a winter break when he was in college at Charity Navigator volunteering, getting a look behind the scenes, seeing how hard the group works day in and day out, got a real appreciation for the work that goes into Charity Navigator. And I think it really impacted him in a positive way. And another instance, we were hanging out after dinner, and Kathleen and I were hanging around after dinner, just kind of, and our phone started dinging, right? What's going on? People are starting to text all at the same time. And Charity Navigator had been a question on Jeopardy. The person, nobody got the answer right, unfortunately, but but it was like, wow,
Big time.
Big time.
Made it big time.
We did on Jeopardy. However, William reminded me a few months ago, maybe a year ago, Joe Rogan brought up Charity Navigator. Now, what's nice about Rogan's podcast, it's the most listened to podcast that's around, but it's a different demographic than Jeopardy. And it's a demographic that we're trying to to reach out to as an organization. So, so that's
great.
That was good. Yeah,
That's
it's run through just about everything we've done.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now look, you've got philanthropy in your blood, and your whole orientation as a family. What causes are important to you and your family? What are you giving to, care about?
My wife Kathleen was the chairman of the board of Alzheimer's New Jersey. It was a cause near and dear to our hearts, unfortunately, and she really took it by the horns and was the chairman of the board for Alzheimer's New Jersey. We love animals. We have 4 dogs, so we give to a lot of animal charities. St. Jude. And I have a soft spot for our local fire departments and ambulance corps.
As an ambulance driver yourself?
I drove an ambulance as a volunteer for 6 years in Ramsey, New Jersey. I was the treasurer, right? And something that was interesting, Ramsey Ambulance Corps got picked up in the Encompass ratings.
Wow.
What do you think we got?
4 stars.
100.
100 out of 100.
Imagine that, if I was a treasurer and we'd gotten a lousy, but I think what's illustrative there is with the Encompass rating, getting out to 200,000 charities, even a charity as small as the Ramsey Ambulance Corps, which had a $200,000 annual budget, unless we bought that year a $350,000 ambulance, gets rated. And that, was, I think the idea of the Encompass rating was to get more charities rated. We didn't even know at the Ramsey Ambulance Corps. Now, I think there's options or opportunities for the group to interact with Matt Viola and provide some input about impact and some of the other things that are important to Charity Navigator in terms of rating. So that's
plenty.
That's pretty well. There's
plenty.
There's more in there. I can't remember them. Some wildlife things too, also. But it's a real core part of what we do.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't think we could express it enough, but we should again try to express our gratitude to the Dugan family for all they've done, setting this whole thing in motion 20 years ago. It really has gone beyond, I think, everyone's imagination of what's possible. And from words Pat and I shared earlier today, certainly his own expectations have been well exceeded. So to the Dugan family, thank you so much. Peter? Thank you so much. Okay, thanks. All right, so it looks like we've got another polling question coming up here. And this is kind of linking back to the Dugan family themselves. For all of you at home right now, what motivated you to get involved in the world of giving and philanthropy? Was it a family member, is it your teacher, a religious figure, maybe a celebrity or an influencer? Family members jumping ahead, remains ahead by far. Oh, somebody just popped up the influencer button there. So family members, so that makes sense, and I think we just saw some examples a moment ago of how children can be both inspired and inspiring, and that makes sense to me. So we now are going to check in, see how we've done this evening. So far together, we have raised $41,152 through the Charity Navigator giving basket. And that is $41,152 towards animal shelters and food banks and art museums and literacy. And it's 41,152 toys donated to children in need for the holidays, thanks to Jazzwares. Now, this is where I'm going to jump in and make a strong appeal here. We've got an offer from Jazzwares to donate 50,000 toys in this holiday season and to have those toys delivered before the Christmas holiday. And for all of you who are watching at home today, even for those of you who are here in the audience right now, we want to take advantage of that incredibly generous offer, and we are urging everybody to go ahead and get on that phone right now and hit the giving basket with the cause and passion that motivates you, and let's try to get that number up over $50,000 if we can. We're getting bids here. We've got bids in the room here. We still need more. We need the folks who are there at home to please be as generous as possible and know that you are amplifying your gift in this moment because of those toys that are going to make their way to children in need. We do appreciate everything that everybody has been doing all throughout this program and hitting that donate button, which is reaching out to every conceivable charity out there. And we hope that you keep doing it. There's still time. We have an entertainer who's going to come up in just a moment, and I am honored to introduce the internationally renowned singer-songwriter in just a moment. He'll be here, but while we're doing that and I'm tap dancing, I'm just going to make that appeal again to get us not just to $50,000, but let's go ahead and put that in the rearview mirror and make it to 60 if we can. Again, all of this makes a difference in so many different ways, all the different ways that we can change the world together, and not the least that we can put some toys in the hands of little kids who would love them over the holiday season. What's our latest number? Are we getting there? Are we getting close, Kevin?
We're at 45.
We are at 45 right now. Anybody else here in the live audience want to bounce us over the top and get us to 50? Good. Good. We just got an in-studio donor to get us to 50 and beyond. That is absolutely amazing and inspiring, and thank you. And don't let it stop all of you at home. If you had your phone in your hand and you heard me say we met the goal, that didn't mean we met the goal. It just means we met a goal. The bar just moved. The bar is now at 60. Keep donating. Keep pushing that button on the giving basket. This has been an amazing evening for all of us here in the studio. We were here late this afternoon. We enjoyed a great cocktail hour and some food together, and then we all assembled here in the studio, and it's been such a joy to connect with so many people and to hear all the stories that have been going on behind the scenes, and some of them now played out live, real time in front of us. I can't help but go back to the 13-year-old who was here acting like no 13-year-old in my family. I raised 3 daughters with my wife. They're now in their late 20s and even 30 years old. And your poise and eloquence and passion and creativity are just inspiring. And thank you for sharing your story. It really, really is amazing. All right, now, finally, I'm honored to introduce internationally renowned singer-songwriter Peter Karp to the stage.
What makes our train roll down the track? What makes us understand when we look back? What makes us fight, forgive and forget? What makes us give more than we get? Compassion, compassion. What makes us feel each other's pain? To give warmth and shelter in the cold and the rain. What makes the brothers and the sisters through all kinds of weather? empathize and share their heartaches together. Compassion, 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 yeah. If all is one and one is all, why would we raise ourselves high to watch our neighbor fall? You can pick up a guitar and try to play the blues, but you'll never feel nothing till you're walking in another soul's shoes. Compassion, 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 compassion. What a beautiful thing. Giving, compassion. We don't do enough of that. Well, now we're going to talk about celebration. Yeah, Daddy always told me when you make a mistake, throw yourself down on your knees and pray. Mama always told me when you make a mistake, throw a match on it and walk away. Now I'm waiting on that train of mine. Said I'm waiting on that train of mine. Said I'm waiting on that train of mine. Take me on down the line. Oh yeah. I felt the fires of a woman that was burning with yearning, had a heart that was wounded in love. I got entranced in France, and a dangerous romance, God only knows what I was thinking of. I said I'm waiting on that train of mine. Said I'm waiting on that train of mine. Said I'm waiting on that train of mine. Take me on down the line. I'm standing at the crossroads of nowhere, trying to get my face in the sun. And I could use salvation and a little forgiveness, some redemption and a loaded gun. And I'm sober. Doesn't make any sense. But it's a wonderful thing. I've been listening to some of these. Look at you back here. Wow. Most of you look really good. Hi. Nancy Duncan from Solibrook. Esther. Esther, how you doing, Esther? Jaden's checking it out. Jaden's got an interesting thing going on over there. Undoubtedly an artist. Michael Campbell. Michael's thinking to himself, what is this I'm watching? Hi, Yesenia. Hello. Hi there. What is it? Yesenia. She's had enough of my stuff. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to play another song here. This is a song that I wrote some years ago for a girl who I met in New York City. I was working in a studio, and she was a producer. She was a young girl, 23, 24, you know. She came from Iowa, and she was telling me that she came from Iowa to New York because she had a dream, and the dream was to live in New York, work in New York, and stay there, but that she was going to go back to Iowa because New York was too big, and too scary, and it was too much for her. So I said, give me your email address. And she said, what for? You know. I said, no, I'm not going to bother you. I'm going to send you something. So I went home and I wrote this song. Because everybody has a dream in life. Some people look for it. Some people don't even know they have it. And other people find it. And they go on a quest. Well, I am an old bluesman who rides for you tonight. Yeah, I am an old bluesman who rides for you tonight. To the swamps of Jersey in an endless plight. You say you're back from the heartland, baby, feeling refreshed and renewed. Say you're back from the heartland, baby, feeling refreshed and renewed. So ready to confront what stands before you. You know the windmills of fate, they twirl and they call you to battle. You know the windmills of fate, they twirl and they call you to battle. But their arms are old and frail as they creak and they rattle. And they hit you hard, baby, and suddenly you find, well, they hit you hard, baby, and suddenly you find that the battles are over, they're all just in your mind. You know the truth is evasive, and love is so elusive. You know the truth is evasive, baby, and love is so elusive. But who you are is yours alone and exclusive. You know fate is ironic, and irony's God's joke. You know fate is ironic, baby, and irony is God's joke. He tells over and over to an eternity of folk. Well, I am an old bluesman who rides for you tonight. Yeah, I am an old bluesman who rides for you tonight. Through the swamps of Jersey on an endless plight. For the swamps of Jersey, oh, an endless flight. Every day and every night, I keep on looking for you, baby. Keep on looking. Break out the beer, we'll stay here all night. That's Paul Carbonara, a great guitarist. Played with him for many, many years, and we go back. It's a connection here. So, check
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. All right, we're wrapping this up. Thanks again for an incredible evening. You guys have been an amazing audience. Your generosity, your empathy, your excitement make me incredibly hopeful for this season of giving. So let's keep the giving going. Donate to your favorite causes for the remainder of this month and all through next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And thanks everyone for joining us tonight and celebrating giving. Have a great night.